Good morning, Firewood people. This is Chris, and we are in the wood yard. Today I'm going to try to do a little bit of splitting, hopefully before the monsoon comes. Right now it's about 9 o'clock in the morning, and by, they say, between 12 and 1 o'clock, it is supposed to happen. We're supposed to get 1.5 inches of rain and then 1.5 inches or so of slush at the end of the day. So nasty wet day coming. So I'm going to try to get a few hours of work in this morning before it happens, because it looks like it's going to be heavy rain and continuous rain all the rest of the day. So I'm going to try to get some splitting done. So what my plan is that I'm going to attack a little bit into the pile here. I just uncovered the splitter back there. As you can see, it's kind of buried in there. And I'm going to take all the pieces that are right here that I split yesterday, that I cut yesterday, that are the dry ones. You can just tell they're dry when you cut them just by looking at the ends of them, and by lifting them there's just no weight to them, well, half the weight of a normal piece. So I'm going to try to get as many of those split as I can, kind of right in this area here. And then I put down some pallets here, because underneath that pile is where I've got all the other wood that I've been splitting over the last few days from these piles back over here that are those are the ones that are still wet, need to be seasoned, need to be dried for a year. But underneath there is bone dry stuff, and so I'm going to throw all the new bone dry stuff on top of these pallets. And then I've got some tarps here that I just bought these not too long ago. These are billboard signs. They're real heavy duty material. They're actually better than a lot of the tarps you can buy in stores. I got a guy that I got a source that he buys them by the truckload, and I buy them from him. But they last a long time. They're really good tarps. And that's actually one right there. It's the other side. And if you look back over there, you can see some black. Those are all the same kind of tarps I use. And there's a couple over here too. If you look over this way, there's that pile right there has got covered with tarps. That's some of the wood that I bought that was from the barn, that was dry wood that was in there for 3 years. So works good for keeping the wood dry. So that's what I'm going to do with this pile right here. I'm going to get it split, chuck it over here, and then I'm going to get it covered. Try to get as much done as I can before it rains. So here we go. Well, I put a dent in the pile. I got a bunch of it done. I got all the stuff you see like right through here, a bunch that's up there, and then a lot over there on that end I've been chucking over there. And then this is all the stuff that I've been throwing over that's been bone dry when I split it. Usually I just split these in halves or quarters. I'm leaving them a little bit bigger because they are pretty much dry. And I want to get those covered up. It just started sprinkling out. And I looked at the radar when I ate lunch about, I don't know, like an hour ago. And within an hour it's going to be pouring out from when I had lunch. So it's real close. And I noticed the sky over that direction is getting really dark. So I think I'm going to be done for today. I got some other work I got to get done. So I split for, I don't know, 3.5, 4 hours, something like that. So I got a bunch done. But while I was splitting, I had an idea of something I'm going to show you. Some of you probably know this, others maybe not. Because I'm cutting, a lot of this wood that's in this pile that was from the barkless oak that was dead standing trees that were cut. A percentage of the wood looks to be dry when you look at it, but then when you split it, it's not. It's real wet, as you can see by the color of the wood down here. I'll show you this piece right here. This is one that just got split. You can see how dark it is in comparison to this piece I just split. So when you split it, you can see it's bone dry on the inside, and this is super wet. If you look right at the end right here, you can see that little bit that's dried from when it was cut in the woods, and then my cut would be right there. You can see there's no drying going into the grain, but down here there is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split some pieces here. This one is a piece of cherry that felt real light, so I'm pretty sure this one's bone dry. And this piece right here is a piece of red oak, and that felt super light. So I know this one's bone dry, I think it is. And then this one felt heavy, so I think this one is going to be wet on the inside. Even though it's got a crack right here, but I can see it's kind of wet right in here. And this one, you can look, it's just got that look that there's no moisture in it. So I'm going to split these two open, and then this one a cherry here, and just show you how the difference is between the one that's wet and the one that's dry, as far as what I think. So I'll start this up and give them a pop here before it starts pouring out. So first will be the cherry. It's this one. So yeah, I thought it was dry, but it's not. I can feel it. It's still moist, so this is not dry. And it's a little heavier than some of the other cherry that I split. So throw that into the pile that's going to be stacked and not sold. So next I'm gonna split the piece of oak here that is the one I think that's dry. It's this one. Oh yeah, you can hear the way it's popping. It just cracks when you open it. And I can see right away. See the difference in the color between this and this? Now I'll split this other one that to me looks like it just feels heavier and looks like it's still wet. So we'll give this one a pop. Well, it's partially dry. Okay, so I was a little wrong. The second one that I split was the piece of oak that it felt real heavy. That's this one. But you can see the coloration in here. It's dark in the middle, so the middle is still wet. But on the very outside, probably like an inch or so here, this band right here, this is dry, and then it gets wet, uncured. Whereas in comparison, this first one that I split, the first piece of oak I split, you can just tell by looking at it's bone dry. And this is one that was real wet when I split it, as you can see. So see the difference? How this one is much wetter than this one. And then this piece here I found in the pile. And this is a good example of a partially dry one. So as you can see here, this middle section is real wet. About an inch out is dry, and you can see where the cut was from the logger. You can see where it's dried in the ends right there. So that little bit is dry. And if you look over on this side, you can see over here too, it's dry there, and this has got no bark on it. So you would think it would be dry, but it's not. On the inside, it's still wet. So I've been splitting these, you know, a little bit bigger, and this will dry real fast now that you get it split. It's one thing I found that when you get pieces that are partially dry, when you cut them and split them, if they're, you know, like this is probably like I would consider like 50% there, because the outside is dry. You can even see it on the end here. If you look, you can see the band right here. From here out is dry. The rest of that will dry real fast because it's going to dry from all the directions now that we got it split. Plus with the bark being off, it always dries faster. So this one will split real fast. And the stuff like this that even it's real heavy, this will take longer. That's why I split it down a little bit more, because I am going to try to sell it in a year. But the dry stuff like this one here, it's going to go over to the dry pile. And this chunk, that's the other half of it, throw that in a dry pile. And then this chunk right here that's partially dry, that'll go over so it gets cured a little bit more. And I'll probably split this one down one more time so you get it dry. Yeah, it's starting to mist out a little bit, so you see it get water. Water's getting on the camera, so, and it's real dark coming. So I think I'm going to head in for the day. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you learned something. We're entertained, and I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is supposed to be a sunny day in the afternoon, so I'm pretty sure I'll be out here. But from now until tomorrow morning, we're supposed to get dumped on. So thanks for watching. Please hit the buttons. You know what to do, because you're an awesome person. Awesome persons hit buttons. They like and subscribe. So I know you know how to do that, so go right ahead. And I will see you tomorrow. Same wood time, same wood channel. Goodbye, guys. See you later.